I've waited a day to film this video because I wanted to see what people in China are saying. What exactly are people saying that have actually reviewed this car? Now, here in Australia, people are slamming this car. They absolutely hate it. I don't know why. I personally think it's fantastic. Shocking to me, but yeah, I mean, Australians are saying this is a terrible looking car. It looks shocking. It's going to be a complete disaster. And I'll show you a lot of these comments. I mean, literally, I'm not making this up. But in China, reviewers are saying actually it's surprisingly good, incredibly good value. It's only around 3,500 US dollars more expensive than the 5-seat version. And that means in the United States, it'll probably cost around 52,000 US dollars. In Australia, only around 5,000 Australian dollars more than the 5-seat version. But it's a much, much, much better car. And I mean, it has an immense number of upgrades that I think make the existing Tesla Model Y long range all-wheel drive. In fact, they make any Tesla car look at not overpriced, but just like they aren't as good value as they used to be. It's sort of like, that idea where a new car comes to market and makes everything else look not so good. To me, that's what this Tesla has done. I'm thinking to myself, if I just bought a Tesla Model Y, I'd be a bit frustrated. I'd be a bit annoyed. I'd be thinking, can I get a refund? I want to upgrade to this because it's actually much better than the existing Model Y. I think it is. Now, not for everyone, of course. Some people won't need all the extra space, but most people, I think, would. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. This is going to be the cheapest 6-seat electric SUV on the market in Australia, in Europe, in Canada, in the UK, in the United States, maybe in other places as well. I'm not sure. Tesla has officially launched the Model Y L, and the L is a reference to long wheelbase in China. It's been incorrectly reported in Australia that this is a China-only model. That's actually completely false. It is being manufactured and tested in the Gigafactory in Berlin, in Germany, and in the United States. This is actually a global car for Tesla. This is Tesla's largest and most expensive version of the Model Y. There is no Model Y Performance currently, so that's why it's the most expensive. Deliveries will begin in September 2025 in China, and I believe for the rest of the world in the first quarter of 2026. So you can't get it yet if you don't live in China. What makes this especially notable is the Model Y will be the cheapest 6-seat, nearly 5-meter long electric SUV in markets such as Europe, Canada, Australia, and the United States. So, price in China is 47,000 US dollars. The premium of the long-range all-wheel drive, which is based on, is 3,500 US dollars, or 8%. That's around 5,500 Australian dollars. Positioning. This is a 6-seat family-focused SUV aimed at the booming demand, particularly in China, for long wheelbase vehicles. But also, it's aimed at the market where there is very few 6 or 7-seat electric SUVs in the West that are affordable. And speaking of affordability, let's have a look at the global price positioning. How much will this car actually cost in your country? I think this is the information that people would really want to know, because otherwise you don't know if you can actually afford it or not. In Australia, the Model Y long range all-wheel drive is currently priced at $68,900, adding a premium of $5,500. The Model Y 6-seat version would be approximately 74,000 Australian dollars. To give you some context, the cheapest version of the Kia EV9 is around $100,000. So that's about a $36,000 price difference. The Volvo EX90 is $135,000. The Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV is $180,000. And the Hyundai Ioniq 9 is $125,000. In the United States, the Model Y long-range all-wheel drive is $47,990, right? at a price premium of around $3,500, and you're looking at around 52,000 US dollars. Similar story here as well. The Kia EV9 is around 60,000 US dollars, the Volvo EX90, 80,000 US dollars, the Mercedes-Benz EQS, 104,000, and the Hyundai Ioniq 9 is 60,000, but that's a starting price before you add on paint and everything else. In Europe, the Model Y long-range all-wheel drive is around 55,000 euros. In some countries, it's less than that. But anyway, let's just go with that. 58,000. That would be the new price. An approximate increase of 3,000 euros would mean that in most places, it'll cost around 58,000. So that will make it easily the cheapest electric, six-seat electric SUV in Europe. In the UK, the existing Model Y long-range all-wheel drive is £53,000. So adding in £2,500 means it would come to £55,500 in the UK. So that gives you an idea on pricing. That means that the Model Y L will undercut every major competitor globally, except for China, of course, by 5,000 to 50,000 US dollars, depending on the model. And you might not think the Model Y L actually compares favorably with some of these cars. Maybe you're thinking, well, it's not that luxurious. I've heard that before, but actually it is. It's got a lot of changes that make it significantly better than the Model Y that it's based on. Design, first of all, how big is it? Well, it's been increased in size, of course. The length is 4,976 millimeters. That is 196 inches. And an increase of 180 millimeters or 18 centimeters or 7 inches. Width is the same, no changes. Height is 1,668 millimeters. That's 65.7 inches and an increase of 44 millimeters. That means 1.7 inches have been added to the height. The wheelbase, it is a bit longer. It's 3,040 millimeters. That's 119.7 inches and an increase of 150 millimeters. So an increase of around 6 inches has been added to the wheelbase. Weight is heavier, but not very much. The weight is 2,088 kilograms. That's an increase of 96 kilos or 212 pounds. But that does make it the lightest weight six-seat electric SUV on the planet. In fact, nothing is close. Nothing. To give you some comparison on weight, yes, I know the Kia EV9 is a boxy shaped car, but it's still practically not that different in terms of actual practical usable space. The Kia EV9 weighs 2,625 kilograms, meaning it's, nearly 550 kilos heavier. That's a big difference. 4,600 pounds for the Model Y, 5,800 pounds for the EV9. The Li Auto L8, which is a direct competitor and is actually quite similar in size, is 2,530 kilos. That's 5,580 pounds. The Volvo EX90, that weighs 2,700 kilos or 5,952 pounds. And the Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV is 2,750 kilos or 6,063 pounds. Yes, those vehicles are a little bigger, but not actually in terms of practical usable space. On that front, they're actually quite similar. So this is by far the lightest electric six-seat SUV available globally. So what does that weight difference actually mean? Are you going to notice it? Yeah, you absolutely are going to notice it. It means better efficiency and range retention, especially in rear-wheel driving. It means sharper handling and feel, despite its larger dimensions. And on the handling front, the new Model Y L does have magnetic adaptive dampers. That will improve the ride. Other Tesla Model Ys don't get those either. It also means reduced wear and tear on the tires and brakes over time. So it is a big difference. You might have noticed it looks a little different. And to me, I think Tesla have done a great job of making this car look smaller than it actually is. And a lot of commenters have negatively criticized it, said it's too small, but actually it's a much bigger car than you realize. And the reason is because Tesla, instead of making it kind of look stretched at the back, they've actually made longer rear doors that kind of hide the actual size of the car. It's also got a more pronounced rear spoiler, new 19-inch wheels, new gold paint option, that'll be interesting, and The aerodynamics have also been improved to a CD of 0.216. And those aerodynamic improvements are massive. I mean, we're talking about an improvement in range over the existing Tesla Model Y long range, which has 600 kilometers of range. This will have 601 kilometers. Amazing, from the same battery. I can't believe this is the case, but it is. Tesla has also said that the new 19-inch wheels are more aerodynamic, and that has helped them get more range. Interior updates. There's been quite a lot of changes. In fact, I believe there's been about 15 changes to the interior. That includes a bigger display. They're now using a 16-inch infotainment display at the front, increased up from 15.4 inches in all other Teslas. There's a new audio system with 18 speakers and a subwoofer, so it gets a few extra speakers. It should sound a little better, I imagine. There is a wireless charging pad upgraded to 50 watts plus 30 watts for the passenger of simultaneous charging. But the other big difference is, it's a big difference. The existing Tesla Model Y and Model 3 wireless charging pad, it's not great because it's not ventilated. So it heats your phone up too much. And ultimately that means that you've got to be degrading your mobile phone battery. The new one is ventilated. So I think Tesla should make this change across the entire range of cars that they have. Adding ventilation to the wireless phone charging is a good change, a good feature. There's also a black headliner. There is a new seat design with adjustable headrests. As you can see, those captain's chairs in the middle have really cool adjustable headrests and also adjustable armrests, which can actually fold all the way down, meaning it's a lot easier for passengers to get from basically from outside of the car into that rear row. If you want to get to those back seats, in some cars it can be a bit of a pain in the butt. You've got to move them electrically forwards, and then people can get in. Then you've got to move them electrically back. It takes you like a minute to get in the car. So that's a good change. Making those armrests adjustable means people can get into those back seats much, much quicker. They also have new seats in the front. The front seats, I believe, are the same as the new front seats in the Tesla Model 3 Performance. Big upgrade. I should also mention that those second row captain's chairs are heated and ventilated with powered folding armrests, and I believe they have a massage function as well, which is pretty cool. The third row doesn't get ventilation or massage, but it does get heating. It's got power folding, heated seats that fold flat at the push of a button. And if you fold those rear seats flat, you're going to get a massive boot space. I believe the boot space will be approximately 1,000 liters, which is actually very big. Rear passenger upgrades. Rear passengers get cup holders, 4 new pillar-mounted air vents. So in other words, Tesla have installed new air vents into the car. There's air vents for the rear. The people, if you're sitting in the back seats, right? Some EVs, they don't have air vents for those people sitting in the very back of the car, and you can get really hot and uncomfortable. You can see Tesla have put an air vent on the left, on the right side of the car at the very back. In addition, there is USB-C ports for every seat in the car. Every single seat gets its own USB-C port. There is a panoramic glass roof and acoustic glass. That acoustic glass will definitely help to reduce noise. Be careful here as well. Some car manufacturers are advertising they have acoustic glass on their cars, and then you check it and it's only the front doors of the car. Not going to do a lot if it's just the front doors. Airbags. Tesla have obviously added new airbags as well. There is airbags for every row, covering 95% of the cabin length. Cargo space. Cargo space with all seats folded down is 2,540 liters. That is 89.7 cubic feet. And it also means that cargo space has increased by exactly 401 liters, which is 14.2 cubic feet more than the standard Model Y. So, powertrain and performance. Well, no real changes here, to be honest. The battery is the 82 kilowatt hour NMC battery pack from LG Energy Solutions, which is the current battery that provides 600 kilometers of range. To be honest, that is a new battery that was just upgraded in the Model Y in China, and I believe Europe as well, over the last 4 weeks. So that battery pack is a little bigger than the previous size battery. Motors, dual motors, all-wheel drive, 142 kilowatt, 190 horsepower at the front, 198 kilowatt, 266 horsepower at the rear. Total power, 340 kilowatt or 456 horsepower. Now, what about range? Well, range is surprisingly good, shockingly good. 751 kilometers CLTC, that's 467 miles. Now, of course, that's only 1 kilometer more than the standard Model Y long range, but shocking to see it has basically the same range as the car it's based on, the smaller version. Acceleration is blistering for a car this size, I think. 0 to 100 or 0 to 62 miles an hour happens in 4.5 seconds. That's 0.2 seconds slower than a regular long-range all-wheel drive. So obviously adding in that 96 kilograms of weight blunts performance, but not by very much. Energy consumption is incredibly low at 12.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That's about 4.1 miles per kilowatt hour. Tesla also says the suspension has been upgraded for handling, basically improved handling given the increased size and weight. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, they've added adaptive dampers. Okay, how does this compare in China? Well, a lot of people are saying it's going to be eviscerated in China. Its competition are better. It's going to really struggle. I don't know if I agree with that. In fact, I think Tesla sells on brand a lot in China. Anyhow, competition includes the Li Auto L8, L9, and the i8. Probably the i8 is the most direct competition. That's their new EV. The Onvo L90, Neo sub-brand. A lot of people say the Onvo L90 will kill the Tesla Model Y. I think that's probably not true because remember, Onvo, what brand is Onvo? I mean, really, tell me what brand Onvo is. If you didn't know that was a Neo, most people don't, you wouldn't have any idea who Onvo is. And it's the same thing in China. Most people don't want to buy the Poo brand of Neo. That's what it is. Neo is saying, Onvo is our budget brand, right? Do most people want a budget imaged car? They don't. And that's why Onvo cars have sold okay, but not particularly well. Nowhere near as well as what experts thought they would. Ato M8 EV, that's another rival. Plus there's the Xiaomi SU7 SUV. The Xiaomi SU7 SUV is actually the same size on the outside, but because it's more of a stylish kind of car, it's got a lot less space on the inside and only has 5 seats as well. Among these, the Model Y is actually smaller than basically all of them, but it does compete on brand prestige, pricing, Tesla's charging network, and Tesla's incredible ability to actually unlock more space on the inside than their rivals do. In global terms, though, it will compete with the Kia EV9, the Volvo EX90, and the Hyundai Ioniq 9. So, Chinese reviewer impressions, what are they actually saying? Well, positives. They're saying this: rear passengers now have dedicated vents, power controls, and better comfort. So, that's positive. Captain's chairs feel premium compared to the regular bench. So, that's one nice feature as well. And you can see the captain chairs do look really good, I think. Legroom and headroom are acceptable for average height passengers, though tight for tall adults. Interestingly, though, you can see from photos that someone sized up to 5'10" can comfortably sit in the back seat. Over 5'10", you probably hit your head on the window, but up to 5'10". I don't think you get too many people sitting that are more than 5'10" in those rear seats. Cargo space increase, they're saying that's welcomed by family buyers. So that's a big positive. Tesla's interior tech upgrades, larger display, better sound system. They're saying that it feels more premium than competitors in this price range. So that's what actual reviewers are saying so far. It feels more premium than its rivals in this space. Interesting. Criticisms. There are some criticisms. Third row is still cramped due to the sloping roofline, so it's suitable mainly for children and teenagers. Concerns about sun exposure from the glass tailgate. Don't know if the UV protection would be good enough. You might need to put some kind of tinting on that glass tailgate. Some reviewers see this vehicle as a stopgap stretch model, not a true new design. Now, I don't actually see that being a negative personally. I don't think that Tesla need a new design. I think if you've got an existing car and it's already good, why do you need to reinvent something that's working? But some people disagree. And in fact, Australians think that it's a shocking idea from Tesla. Most of them do. Most Australians that I've talked to say Tesla have been lazy. They should have made a new car. They should have made an all-new design. This is a joke. It's disgrace from Tesla. Elon Musk is asleep at the wheel. That's what a lot of Australians are saying. I don't agree, but that's what I'm hearing. Compared to Li Auto and Onvo SUVs, Tesla is offering less space at a similar or higher price. Now, technically, I don't know if that's actually accurate. On the inside, I don't know if the size is actually much different to those vehicles. Anyhow, here are some of the most popular comments on this car, the ones that have received the most upvotes, which in sharing them with you, I don't agree with them at all. As I mentioned, I think this car is great, but here's what one commenter said. The first time the tailgate is closed with passengers in the rear seats, they will be knocked unconscious. So, yeah, I mean, I've seen images and it looks like there's actually enough space there to not kill people. But anyhow, someone else has said, this is a cheap hack to juice up Tesla's sales. What are Tesla doing? Someone else said, I was thinking exactly the same thing. This looks very, very painful. Now, another person said, not sure if this is what customers were asking for en masse. There was more hype around a cheaper mass-produced Tesla that offered what made the Model 3 and Model Y so popular in a smaller, cheaper package. This will have to sit above the standard long-range model, so it's not going to sell in huge volumes. Can't see Tesla slowing the sales decline until they actually offer some more variety, not rehashes of the same cars that launched nearly a decade ago back in 2017. Someone else said that that's a very sloping roofline for a third-row SUV. I feel the crick in my neck just looking at it. And someone else said this, I can't help thinking the armrests on the second-row seats look exactly like those on my office chair. Now, one of the most common criticisms of the car is clearly the shape of the vehicle. And the most liked comment on Electric says the shape of the Model Y is terrible for a three-row vehicle, even with a wheelbase stretch. The steeply sloped rear end severely intrudes into headroom of the third row, and you also suffer from being baked by the sun under the tailgate glass. Tesla, they said, is doing everything but actually listening to the market. People want a new model that is larger and more boxy so they can fit their family comfortably in the car in all three rows. Most people don't want the Model X because it's way too expensive and old, nor do they like the stupid falcon wing doors. If Tesla could launch an Ioniq 9 or EV9 competitor for roughly the same price as those two models, it would become their best seller in the United States. Now, do you guys agree? Should Tesla have done that? Should they have made a boxy electric SUV that looks like the Kia EV9? That's what a lot of people are saying in the US, in the United States. Now, someone else said, a popular comment in the US, that this is even news at all is a good indicator of just how far Tesla has fallen behind. They've transformed a 5-seat passenger car into a 6-passenger car. Wow. Meanwhile, every other manufacturer out there is moving their EV technology forward in dramatic fashion. So guys, what are your thoughts on this car? As you know, I think it's fantastic. I think it's the lightest weight electric SUV on the market with 6 seats. And it also has a lot of range, 600 kilometers of range. It's probably going to come out to about 350 miles of EPA range. I think this car will sell extremely well. It is not a China-specific model. It will be sold all around the world, and it will be cheaper than its rivals. Much cheaper, probably not heaps, but in my opinion, enough to mean a lot of people currently sitting in or driving 6 or 7 seat internal combustion vehicles might make the switch. And that is the biggest positive for me. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.